Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Thursday, November 29th, 2018, and I'm Katelyn Rivera. Black Greek life at Tarleton, Michael Cohen pleads guilty, and a big week for Tarleton athletics. These stories and more coming up next on Texan TV. In campus news, the Zeta Phi Beta sorority is Tarleton's only Divine Nine sorority. We take you to Quinicia Fraser with an inside look at what it's like to be the only black sorority at Tarleton State University.
The National Panhellenic Council, also known as the Divine Nine, is made up of historically black sororities and fraternities. Here at Tarleton, there's just one black fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma, and one black sorority, Zeta Phi Beta.
They come up to us, oh my gosh, can you teach me that? And then I'm like, no, can't. It's for members only.
Organizations like Zeta Phi Beta are known for their strolling, their colors, their letters, and their community service.
It is the only black sorority. We do have, our brothers are here, Phi Beta Sigma, and they're the only black male fraternity.
What is it like to be the only black sorority on a college campus? Chapter President-elect LaQuandria Bradley says there's both positives and negatives.
It's kind of lonely because it's just like we're the only ones out here representing our culture of like sorority and fraternity. Being here at this predominantly white school, being the only black sorority, we stand out, and that's what I like. Like no other sorority here strolls, and we do.
The Zeta Phi Beta sorority found its way to Tarleton back in 1994, and they've always been a pretty small organization on campus. Right now, there's only 4 members.
While our chapter is small, Zeta Phi Beta, the sorority, is so huge.
Current chapter president Demetria White isn't too bothered by their size.
This sorority, this chapter, it means everything to me.
She also says she thinks there's misconceptions about who can join her sorority.
Yes, we were founded by black women, but that doesn't mean you only have to be black to join the sorority. And I feel like when people say the black sorority, that's sometimes what people think. And that's just not the case at all. We've had, you know, Latina, we've had, you know, Caucasian.
For White, it's all about sisterhood and making an impact.
We're small, but we're mighty.
Two members of the sorority will graduate this fall. That, of course, means there'll only be 2 members left until new member presentation, also known as probate. At Tarleton State University, I'm Quinicia Fraser, Texan TV News.
And in local news, the Empire Tribune reports that Jamie Richards Hoagland, the Tarleton State student that was shot in her Stephenville apartment, will be the guest speaker for this year's Tree of Angels ceremony. Richards Hoagland was shot in December of 2017 outside her apartment in Stephenville. The gunshot severed her spinal cord, and she is now diagnosed with a quadriplegic and now uses a wheelchair. The event will take place on December 3rd at 7 p.m. at the Donald R. Jones Justice Center located on 112 West Washington Street in Stephenville, Texas. And in state news, Beto O'Rourke and Julian Castro are both signaling they could make a run for presidency in 2020. Texas Democrats are excited about the potential of sending 2 of their own to the national political stage. O'Rourke said Monday that he prefers to finish his congressional term January 3rd before deciding what's next. And in national news, President Donald Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, pled guilty for lying to Congress. Cohen admitted he lied about a Moscow real estate deal he pursued on Trump's behalf during the 2016 presidential campaign. Cohen said he did this to be consistent with Trump's political messaging. And in international news, some 170 police officers, investigators, and prosecutors raided the offices at a German bank on Thursday on the suspicion that bank employees helped clients set up offshore companies in tax havens to launder hundreds of millions of euros. The suspects, both German citizens, are accused of failing to report the suspicious transactions, even though there was sufficient evidence to have been aware of it. And in other international news, President Donald Trump says he's canceled a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. citing Russia's seizure of Ukrainian vessels. Trump tweeted his decision Thursday after departing Washington for a world leader summit in Argentina, where he and Putin were to meet. Trump says, based on the fact that the ships and sailors have not been returned to Ukraine from Russia, I have decided it would be best for all parties concerned to cancel my previously scheduled meeting in Argentina with President Vladimir Putin. I look forward to a meaningful summit again as soon as this situation is resolved. And now, for more of today's national and international news, we take you to the AP News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. President Trump tells the New York Post that a pardon for Paul Manafort in the Russia probe is not off the table. Special counsel Robert Mueller has said Manafort breached his plea deal by lying to investigators. Senate Intelligence Committee top Democrat Mark Warner says a pardon would be a blatant and unacceptable abuse of power. The Senate passed legislation calling for an end to the U.S. role in the Saudi-led war in Yemen. The bipartisan vote defies President Trump and rebukes Saudi Arabia after the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Some evacuation orders may be lifted next week for areas devastated by the Northern California wildfire. The Butte County Sheriff says expected rainfall could cause floods and delay some plans to return. In New York City's Rockefeller Center Christmas tree is lit up in grand holiday tradition. The 72-foot tall Norway spruce is topped by a 900-pound crystal star. Mike Hempen, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
In sports news, the Tarleton volleyball team fell 3-0 to Western Washington today. This was the Texans' first ever national finals, and they were just 3 victories away from clinching the national title. The Texan football team will travel all the way to Minnesota as they take on the top-rated Minnesota State Mankato team this Saturday at 12. The Texans are one of 8 teams still alive in the playoffs and are looking for a spot in their first ever national finals with this win this Saturday. This is the first time in program history that either team has advanced this far into the playoffs. And for weather, temperatures have been creeping up throughout the week. Today, we will see a sunny high of 77 and a low of 55 degrees. The temperatures will continue to stay in the 70s throughout the weekend and will drop again by Monday. And some good news for Ariana Grande fans. According to the Associated Press, the pop star will be giving fans an all-access pass into her musical life through a new YouTube documentary series. The series will show highlights from the making of her new album, Sweetener. It will also show footage of her Dangerous Woman tour, which was suspended after the terrorist bombing at the Manchester Arena in May 2017. This has been a production of Texan TV News, a product of the Texan News Service from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. Watch us live on Apogee Channel 2.1 in the dorms at 12:30 weekdays, and if you live off campus, tune in on Northland Cable Channel 9. You can follow the Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter and check out our website at www.texannews.net for all of your latest local, state, national, and international news. Today's broadcast was produced by the Texan TV staff. Have a wonderful day, Texans.